Frack on. Welcome to the Frack The Canon, joined by CJ McCree and Tyler Weiss. How you guys all doing?
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy doody.
So we are in phase four. We're getting new heroes, new new heroes. I don't know what's gonna go with that. So we're talking about Miss Marvel, the
We're at
newest.
the end of phase four.
Oh, that's right. We are at the end of phase four. Thank you for correcting me, CJ. That's why you're the co-host with the most. Um, yeah, that's right. We have two more phase fours events up. Right now we're talking about the latest one that came out before the new one comes out. Uh, Miss Marvel. What did you guys think about Miss Marvel? Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? What were your issues with it? What you loved about it?
Um, I, I really like Miss Marvel. I have a lot of problems with Miss Marvel.
I I know where you're coming from because I like that character. I just have an issue with her show. Like I like what I'm given in the Disney Plus show, what she gives me. I just don't like her show in general. Tyler, what about you?
Yeah, so the character I like and the character in the show I like, but the show is hot garbage.
I want to call it hot garbage. I just like there's some things we don't need. Like all right,
Hello.
go ahead.
There's like I haven't had
Everything.
more logic. I haven't had more like logic problems in a Marvel thing before. Like where I was I think I was telling you, Renee, like I had like Star Wars level like logic leaps. You know what I mean? And when I say Star Wars, I mean like freaking I died of heartbreak, you know what I mean, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like what? Okay, I'll go with it. What? Like the Emperor's back. What? Okay, I'll go with it. You know what I mean? Like kind of like freaking. And in this was like, what? Your son has powers. Like what? Okay, like what? You're back in time because she stabbed the thing. What? You saved your grandma, but in game said that you can't change your own history. Okay, whatever, dude. Like freaking, like how did this dude get powers? How did what you did when she walked in front of the thing, right, and gets vaporized, just like the other person who walked in front of the thing and gets vaporized, right? Like, but she's like, oh, I know what to do. I'm gonna go over here and get vaporized. But this time, it closes the portal, and her son gets powers. What? Just say it. Just say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those were okay. So you just mentioned my biggest issues too. Those were all my issues too. My other big issue too that I'm just like which took momentum from the story was when they went to Pakistan, I believe, and then when they were back in time, I'm like, this adds nothing to the story. This kills the momentum of where we are. Like, why did they need to go back to Pakistan, and why did they need to go back in time? Like, it felt to me like they were just trying to tell the story of a partition.
Dude, like 10 minutes of that, right?
Yeah,
Like 5 to 10 minutes of that.
not a whole episode.
Like,
Yeah, because Kamala Khan didn't show up till like the last 5 minutes of the episode. I'm like, we need like again personally. I'm like, here's the thing. I'm not Pakistani. I'm not Muslim. I'm not like I'm Mexican American Catholic. But I know the story, so I'm like, I don't. I why are you telling me this story? What does this add to it?
right, and when she shows back up, I was like, wait, what? Like, oh, like, cause as like this whole episode is like the grandma, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, like the end of the last episode, that's a vision, right? That's a vision. She's just seeing this, you know, she's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
seeing this crap. And then like we get to the end of that episode, and she's, oh no, she's actually there. So why did we see all this for no reason, right? Like for my benefit, right? For whatever.
Tyler, I'm sorry. You want to say something?
No, I mean, this mainly I hate this show because of the villain problem of this show. It has the worst villain problem, in my opinion, of any MCU property.
Can you please elaborate on that? Because I don't. I think you were talking about, but I'm not 100% sure. What you're talking
Well,
about.
it's trying to present two villains, the Noor and the DODC, um, and the Noor are.
Oh, the Nora is like the thing
Yeah,
she.
Oh yeah. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
group of people.
Cabal.
Yeah, that. They are confusing, and everything they do is super convoluted, and we don't know like what they're gonna do and who's who. And the DODC, they're like a cartoon villain in terms of like twisting the mustache, and will literally like do everything that they themselves are claiming to like do, like, and I think it's like trying to portray the US government. Like in the end they're like, stop, you're gonna hurt someone, and then they start shooting like over a crowd of people in like at two children, and it's like, wait, how did this make it on TV? And it's not TV, but you know what I'm saying. How did this make it onto a show that you're supposed to show kids?
My problem with the DOC is like they're a cleaning up company. They're not police. They're not police. That's my the comic book fan in me. I'm like, that's my issue. I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, they're not. DOC is. It should have been someone. It should have been Shield. It should have been anybody. But I'm like, why DOC? Maybe they didn't have access to Shield. But I'm like, the DOC is cleanup. They don't. They're not. I'm like, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
That's my only. That is my only issue with that thing. The villains. What do they want? They wanted to go back home. Or like, why did they need? What did you guys want? What do you guys need? That's the one thing I had no idea what they wanted, and
they're all dead now.
Well, we don't know. I mean,
we have no idea what they wanted, who they are. You know what I mean? Like, freaking, what a waste of an arc or an introduction. You know, like, to Tyler's point, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like they should have focused on any one of those antagonistic forces that they introduce in this series. Not saying like completely erase the other two. Just dial it back then. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to spend so much time with these Jinn if you're not going to flesh out their story. That's all I feel. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not going to flesh out their story, why are we spending so much time with them? Why are we talking to them? Why are we hanging out with them? You know what I mean? Like, if they ultimately don't mean anything, you know what I mean? Like, then let's hang out with more. If ultimately freaking, like I said, you guys in the chat, if ultimately Sinestro is the real big bad of this show, right? Yeah. Like, let's spend a lot of time like meeting that out, you know what I mean, in different ways, you know what I mean. Let's spend a lot of time as to why he might become what he is and what this is, you know what I mean. Or if the I can't get the initials right. Yes,
your damage control with DOC, Department of Correctional Facility or whatever.
Yeah. Or flesh out what more like what that lady's deal is, or what, you know what I mean, or what they represent as a threat, you know what I mean. Like, I don't know, like it seems like they focus on one villain and then they freaking just I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were trying to be like, we're the actual villains, like you should have been worried about us the whole time, we're the US government, you know, not your actual. Like, the other thing, too, that would have worked if there wasn't that wedding that was ruined. And then when Kamala was like, if we don't get everyone out of here, they're going to kill everyone here. And it's like, why? Why would they kill anybody? All they need is your bracelet. Just give it to them. And done. It's just, but I want to keep my powers. It's like, why?
What was the point of the bracelet, too? That was never made clear to me, too. I'm like, I don't understand. Right. What her bracelet does, like, why does she need that bracelet? Did they ever explain it? I never understood what it was.
Here's the thing, especially with the end reveal that she's like a mutant, right? Like,
oh my god, we'll talk about that in a minute. Yes,
you're right. We have this reveal, and so it's like, okay, so what does the bracelet do again? Right? Like, wait, what? Like, I'm lost a little bit. I'm lost here. What does the bracelet do then?
So that pissed me off too. I'm like, what is up with all this inhuman hate? Like, she's like, why? Like, what was the reason of making her from inhuman to mutant? I think we'll talk about that. It will be up in a later episode. You already recorded it. Like, why? Why did you guys do this? What is the point of this?
Right.
I'm asking you guys.
Yeah, they want people to forget about the show. That was worse than this one by far. By far the worst show anything Marvel has ever done is Inhumans, and they want people to like Star Wars Christmas special, forget about it. Like this never happened.
I mean, but they brought back Anson Mount to play Thunderbolt in Doctor Strange.
Right. I liked that. I'm like, good for you,
Blew his
Marvel.
face
Yeah. Yeah, they blew him up though. Blew up his brain. Yeah.
Like I just said, like it was fun, it was cool. I'm like, I just wish. Like,
okay, you know what? We really been harping on this show, and rightly so. But I do want to say a couple of good things, right? The good thing is that like I really like we did kind of gloss over it in the top of the show. Main actress, loved her, fell in love with her.
she was amazing. She was charming as hell.
And her whole freaking cast of side characters, fell in love with all of them, loved her whole life. I felt like I was like living her life with her, you know what I mean? Like love that aspect of the show way more than I thought I would. Could almost tear up when she got her name, you know what I mean? Like I was like, what, dude? That's freaking heartbreaking and awesome, you know what I mean? Just your dad gives it to you, you know what I mean? It's so sweet.
Your mother and I tried for years to have a second child. We'd almost lost all hope. And then you came. Oh, Peter, you were just so perfect. That's what Kamal means in Arabic. Perfect. But in Urdu, it's more like, what's the word? Wonder. Marvel. Kamal means marvel.
Freaking the way, like, I love the way the first episode ends, where her mom is like trying to chew her out, and she says like the cheesiest stuff, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like I know that moment so well, you know what I mean? Like, I know that mom like really just cared for her and wanted to like impress upon her that, but she was just saying the most ridiculous things, and the daughter, like, even I know that the feelings the daughter was feeling too, you know, of like. Like, what you're saying is ridiculous, and I couldn't make fun of you right now, but I'm in trouble, so like I'm just gonna shut up. Like, I know you love me, I love you too, kind of a thing, you know what I mean? Like, but I just love that. I love their whole dynamic, you know.
Yeah, I'm with CJ. The family is really charming, and Bruno, I love. I sympathize with so much. Poor guy.
Dude, like, where did you have all that, like, to do, like, how does he actually to get a blood test to find out she's immune? I'm like, dude, where did you get this info from?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was very like Peter Parker, like bedroom lab mentality, like philosophy of Marvel. And I give that a pass. But yeah, once the Jinn show up, it's just all like the first episode's freaking great, and then once the Jinn shows up, it's into the confusingness. And I already talked about that. If this show just gets rid of the DODC or Department of Damage Control as like the like, hey, we're the actual villain, and just leaves them as a minor inconvenience, I think this show's actually a lot better. And they just need to focus on the Jinn and make them, instead of like, hey, we're just gonna disappear like a long-term villain, we have a better show.
It feels, I don't know, because I'm watching it, I'm like, it feels like these are a bunch of new writers, like fresh writers who just got out, who were just like, this is the first time at a big property, and they're still like figuring out how to. I don't know. Did you guys feel that? Or did you feel that? I'm like thinking about it now. I'm like watching it back. I'm like, I feel like this is the first time like they're figuring out how to write. I don't know.
I didn't feel that necessarily. It just made me, because of like the nature of the problems we're having, it felt to me like they had about a movie's worth of content, and they had to make it 6 episodes worth. You know what I mean? Like, this felt to me like there was a solid 2.5 hours here. That was a really good movie. You know what I mean? But because this is a property that probably wouldn't have sold that well as a movie, you know what I mean? Like, they might have taken an L on that, and so it became the show, and maybe they had to make it 6 episodes. That's just an idea, you know what I mean, that I have, speculation. But it feels like they had to pad the runtime a little bit. That's just like how I feel, because it's like, why is there even an episode 6? What was the purpose of even episode 6? You know what I mean? Like, it felt like it ended at freaking, what was it, 5? Whenever they got back and the lady freaking killed herself in the portal and gave her son powers. it felt like it ended right there, you know. But you know,
Yeah, that was weird too. The whole him becoming evil. I'm like, why? Yeah, I forgot about that. You mentioned it again.
they have the whole. We're glossing over the whole Home Alone frickin' section in episode 6, where they have like an hour to set up traps while the frickin' Dio is
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
preparing to go and storm the castle or whatever.
Yeah. Actually, I like the Home Alone aspect of that. I thought it was like charming. And then it doesn't even matter because they are running around like in front of a big crowd outside anyways. It's like, let's go run to this crowd of like DODC officers. The part you were talking about how there was a whole extra episode. I agree, and it's something Disney Plus has a lot of shows that are like this, and I think you're right. I think 2020 with the whole Black Widow thing and the delayed release forced Marvel to do that, and I'm sure there's a lot of movie scripts they're rewriting into Disney Plus scripts right as we speak.
Yep.
Sure.
Anything else? Final comments? Final thoughts?
Yes. Mutant. No. I always love hearing the score. I think it was really well utilized in Multiverse of Madness, and I was so like lethargic from this whole last episode when I heard no. I'm like, why did that happen? Rewound, mutant. Why?
Like, I just hate that she's a mutant right now. That's my biggest. Out of all the other shows, that's the thing I hate the most. I'm like, why is she a mutant? Why don't you make her inhuman? That's my only big issue with personally. Like, I understood why they. Well, I didn't understand. I like they change her powers. So I'm like, because she would be too much like Mr. Fantastic. I'm like, okay, I get it, I guess. But like, why make her a mutant and not keep her as an inhuman? That's my only concern.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that. Honestly, like, I feel like, and it's a weird thing because I feel like she was the poster child for Inhumans when they brought her out in the comics, like when they were trying to do this thing where they were making the Inhumans more like mutants, because they had the rights to Inhumans, you know what I mean? And she was almost like the poster child of that whole movement, and so I think it's interesting now that her show comes out, they have the rights to mutants again. And now she is the first mutant character. You know what I mean? I think that's an interesting change, like kind of flip.
Yeah.
There.
And, sorry, CJ, did I cut you off? Oh, okay. Well, and worse yet with the whole reveal now is like we went through WandaVision where like Quicksilver came back and it's like, oh, you're an act like that's the universe you're from. Yes, this confirms mutants. Yes, that was the first Disney Plus Marvel show, and it was like the Mandalorian of like Marvel shows. And then it was like JK LOL. It's a dick joke, and now I was like, okay, well they better make mutants a big reveal, and then here it is, like, damn it.
What? That's funny. No, I mean, because it is like such a tiny little like throwaway thing too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering if like when we actually get X-Men, like if they're actually going to use the '90s theme. You know what I mean? Like, because they keep hinting at it like thematically with music. You know, like is that actually going to be like in the score of of the new X-Men movie?
I need guitars. It has to happen.
But that'd be interesting. I don't think that Miss Marvel is going to be an X-Men though.
Better not.
Yeah, dude.
Solely because she has loving parents. You know what I mean? And most of the X-Men do not.
All right. Was that it? We wrap it up?
Also, Captain Marvel at the end. That reveal of Marvels.
That really, like, that's so interesting to me. Like the way they did that is so interesting to me. Like in a way that it like, I'm like, okay, I really want to know what she was doing. Because that really trips me out. Like when the way she pops up Like, yeah, Marvel nerd here, right? But the way she pops up, she looks like she was like in the middle of battle, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, dude, where was she? What was she doing? Like, and now what is freaking Miss Marvel in the mix of? You know what I mean? Like, freaking, that's got me jazzed to see that.
Same. Yeah. If they just kept the post credit scene of that and just waited on the whole mutant thing, I think we would have had a happier conversation here at the close. Because like, well, they stuck to their guns, and now we have the setup for something else instead of now like a lot of question marks. Plus, also, this is the best looking Miss Marvel has ever. Sorry, Captain Marvel has ever been. She looked way better than any time she's ever appeared in the MCU. In my
Agreed.
No comment.
MCU, he said, Renee, in the MCU.
Yeah, no comment. I heard, and I said no comment. Alrighty.
But yeah, I think she looks way better in this than she did in both of her previous incarnations.
All right. Hold on. Let me scratch out a little bit. Let me see a second. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for learning out with me about this. We'll see you same fracking time, same fracking channel. Frack off.